In today's video, we are testing the Volvo EX90 twin motor, the non-performance version with the smaller 21-inch wheels and also without the Bowers-Wilkins sound system. And in today's video, I want to answer the question, if you forgo all of the most premium options in the EX90, is the car still as good, and should you just skip all of those optional extras and save a bunch of money instead? Kempower offers some of the best DC fast chargers in the world with their unique, sleek, and modern load balancing charging satellites. The small satellites translates to elegant and streamlined charging locations. When you pull up to a Kempower charging station, you don't have to think about connecting to a charger that delivers the correct speed for your car. The Kempower load balancing chargers automatically will allocate the correct power to your car, maximizing the efficiency of the charging site. When connected, Kempower chargers have a QR code you can scan, so this way you can easily monitor the charging session remotely regardless of payment method. That is just super cool. A huge thanks to my friends at Kempower in Finland for sponsoring this video. Twin motor or performance, the EX90 looks identical on the exterior. Yes, it looks better with the larger 22-inch wheels, but you'll also take a hit when it comes to range. So it's a compromise either way. For me, the EX90 is one of the prettiest SUVs ever made. Its clean but unmistakable front end, the elegant lines and proportions just make this a timeless design that I love. I've done several reviews of the EX90 at this point in time, so if you want a detailed look at the front cabin, the rear cabin, and also the third row, I'm going to link a video down below. I'm not going to cover that in today's video because I've done it so many times. But what I'm going to talk about is that this is the Ultra trim, so this is the top trim, just without, some of the most expensive options, and you're basically getting the same cabin as in the top trim, except if you go for the Bowers-Wilkins sound system, because you're going to get that knotless tweeter on top of the doors. You're going to get different speaker grills on the doors, but other than that, it is the exact same experience. You're getting this artificial stitched leather on the dashboard. You're getting this beautiful open pore wood, which is backlit here on the dashboard, on the center console here, and on the doors. And then this car has the Nordico trim, though this is without the ventilated seats, which I think I would maybe recommend if you live in a warmer climate, because this doesn't breathe as well, this Nordico, which is not ventilated. But quality, yes, I complain about quality in this car since it came out, because I started this channel on several XC90s, and I will say that the interior quality, the attention to detail, the materials in the XC90, and especially the facelifted version, is higher than here. You can get that car with Nappa leather. You can't get that with this yet, but rumors say you're going to get it from the model year 26. But overall quality compared to that car is lower. But compared to other cars at this price point, when you're talking about electric cars, it is still very good, especially if you spent, any time in an Audi A6 or a Q6 e-tron, which is easily as expensive as this in some trims, and this interior is just so much nicer. Yes, it may not be as nice as the XC90, but everywhere you touch, basically, is of really high quality. It's not before you're very low down in the cabin, you have hard touch plastics, which is a little bit weird, but okay, I can forgive the car because the design is really beautiful. The infotainment system has gotten better with time, and also these buttons, though they look like they're touch capacitive, they are actually physical buttons. There's just one panel you touch down on, and also you have two stalks instead of a gear selector and two stalks. It does get a little bit getting used to, but I think the ergonomics is fine. It's not as good as the Audis, which I do prefer, but the fact that you have a big volume knob down here where you can skip forward, you have cup holders here, wireless charging, and storage under there, and one of the most comfortable seats. This is still one of the best cabins at this price point. Before we get going, I'd like to turn off a few of these, mandatory safety systems that came with GSR2 the summer of 2024, like lane keep assist, speed limit warning, and also distraction alert, which have to turn on even if you turn them off every key off, key on cycle. That is mandatory in the EU and every country that follows, the EU mandate, like Norway and Switzerland. So most of the shortcuts are here on the first menu here, but to turn off distraction alert, you have to go into the menu. And also you can't turn off 100% the lane leaving system like you can with the EX30. So you can turn off lane keep assist, but every time the car thinks you're crossing over a line, it will tug you back in, which is annoying because, a lot of roads here in Norway, the lane markings are bad, so it will intervene. And also you're trying to follow the flow of the road and you're trying to cut over the lanes, especially on a 2-lane road. It's annoying that you can't do that. So gear selector on top here, and put the car into drive. And this has proper one pedal drive, which I like to drive on, and it comes to a complete stop very, very smoothly. So the first thing you'll notice with the EX90, if you're not used to driving a car of this size, is this size, because it is big. It is more than 5 meters long. It's not as wide as something like a Polestar 4, so it actually doesn't feel too bad, on narrow roads, but it is long and has a long wheelbase and no rear steer. So, sometimes you're gonna have to do like a 3-point turn when you may not used to be with other cars. Another thing with this car is, because this is the Ultra, it comes with air suspension. That's why I would recommend the Ultra, because it comes with air suspension, it comes with other niceties, and this car is one of the most, if not the most comfortable car I've tested in recent years. I think the only car that is more comfortable and quiet is something like a Mercedes EQS SUV. It is so quiet. It is the quietest car in instrumented testing we've done in the channel since we started doing that. And also this car on air suspension, it is very controlled. It controls its mass much better than the EQS SUV, but at the same time, I think it's almost as comfortable. It is very soft, it is very supple, and it's just a sensory deprivation tank, while especially driving in the suburbs where you don't have to raise your voice at all. It is very, very impressive. And this also having 408 horsepower, it does 0 to 100 kilometers an hour in 5.9 seconds, and that is quick enough for most people. I mean, put the car into constant all-wheel drive to get access to that power right away, and it's as responsive as any electric car. It just feels fast. I've not been missing any power with this car. And also on this stretch of road where we test all cars, the road gets progressively worse. The bumps come closer and closer, and it really separates the cars that are beautifully tuned by their engineers over years by some cheap cars that have not, where not a lot of time has gone into tuning the car and the suspension, and it just copes beautifully. There's one motion and then it settles. There's one motion and it settles. You barely notice the bumps here. So like from a driving perspective, this is probably better than this car with 22-inch wheels, because you have a little bit more rubber and it just rides beautifully. It is one of the most comfortable and quietest cars we've tested on this channel ever. It is just very impressive, and as a luxury experience, this car on air suspension is second to none. I just really, really like driving this car. It is very, very good. In conclusion, I think there are 1 or 2 things you should skip while getting the EX90. First off, if you care about range and you don't care that much about the looks, I think going for these 21-inch wheels will actually give you more range in the real world, as we saw in my long trip test. And also, if you're not an audiophile, you can save a lot of money by not getting the Bowers & Wilkins sound system, because the Bose sound system in this car is better than most other sound systems at this price point. Me personally, I love the Bowers & Wilkins sound system. I think it is amazing, so I would go for it. And also, getting the performance version is a big price jump, but you're also getting a lot of performance. So it really depends on how much money you want to spend and how important that is for you. So if you skip all of these, the 22-inch wheels, the Bowers & Wilkins sound system, and also the performance pack, you're saving about 10,000 euros, $10,000, and that is a lot of money. And you're still getting a car that is as good to drive, as quiet, and as luxurious. So guys, let me know what you think about the EX90 twin motor without all of the most expensive options in the comment section down below. So I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you did, please drop me a thumbs up down below. And for more car content, as always, please subscribe. See you guys later and goodbye.